On Tuesday morning, Daniel Carter argued with his wife about money. By Friday evening, he walked into the police station and reported her missing. 72 hours had passed. During those 72 hours, the bedroom had already been cleaned, the mattress replaced, and several personal items quietly removed from the house. Daniel and Emily Carter had been married for 10 years. Neighbors described them as quiet and private, no shouting, no visible tension. The kind of couple who kept their problems indoors. In the months before Emily disappeared, she began questioning unusual transactions, loans she didn't recognize, transfers that didn't match their shared records. "What is this payment?" she reportedly asked one evening. "It's temporary," Daniel replied. "I'll fix it." But her phone was still inside the bedroom drawer. Her wallet remained untouched. The sandals she wore almost every day were still by the door. Security cameras in the neighborhood never recorded Emily leaving the property. However, one camera captured Daniel late that same night, moving large storage containers into his vehicle. They were just old documents, he later explained. What investigators didn't know yet was that those containers would never be found. Financial records revealed mounting debt and a scheduled meeting. Emily had arranged with a financial advisor days before she vanished. By the time Daniel reported her missing, the timeline no longer aligned with the evidence inside the house. Police returned to the bedroom. There were no signs of forced entry, but chemical testing revealed faint traces of blood cleaned but not erased. During questioning, Daniel remained calm. "We argued," he said, "but it wasn't violent." Investigators noticed small shifts in his story, minor corrections, adjusted timelines, subtle inconsistencies. What began as a missing person case slowly transformed into something else. Days later, human remains were discovered in a wooded area not far from the property. Forensic analysis confirmed the cause of death as blunt force trauma. But violence rarely begins in a single moment. It builds through pressure, through fear, through the gradual loss of control. Investigators reconstructed the final hours, the argument, the silence, the late-night movement of containers. Control was slipping, debt was growing, and Emily had started asking questions Daniel could no longer answer. What investigators didn't know that Tuesday morning was that the argument may not have been minor at all. By Wednesday, the house had been cleaned. By Thursday, the evidence had been moved. By Friday, the report was finally filed. Because when someone you love disappears, time is not something you ignore. Investigators later testified that the 72-hour gap allowed critical evidence to be altered. In court, Daniel maintained that he never intended for it to end that way. But financial strain, fear of exposure, and the loss of control had already set events in motion. The house looked orderly. The bedroom appeared normal. But the timeline told a different story. And sometimes, what investigators discover isn't what happened in a single moment, but what happened during the silence that followed. More stories every week.